Mr. President, what's your message to the Iranian people after 2 rounds of talks with them? Do you have any message to the Iranian people?
The Iranian people in Iran or
Yeah,
people here?
People in Iran.
They better negotiate a fair deal. They better negotiate. You know, the people of Iran are a lot different than the leaders of Iran. And it's very, very sad situation. But 32,000 people were killed over a relatively short period of time. They were going to hang 800, 2 weeks ago, hang, some by crane. They lift them up with a tall crane, and they play them around the square. They were going to hang 837 people. And I gave them the word, if you hang one person, even one person, that you're going to be hit right then and there. I wasn't waiting 2 weeks and negotiating. And they gave up the hanging. They didn't hang 837. Supposedly, they didn't hang anybody.
Iran has hit out at Donald Trump over his claims of 32,000 people being killed in the Iranian regime's crackdown on protesters earlier this year. Iranian Foreign Minister Seyed Abbas Araghchi posted on X, and I quote, "Fulfilling our pledge of full transparency towards our own people, Iran's government has already published a comprehensive list of all 3,117 victims of recent terrorist operation, including about 200 officers. If anyone disputes accuracy of our data, please share any evidence." Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Baghai had dubbed reports of over 30,000 deaths in Iran as a Hitler-style big lie. Yes, the human rights activists' news agency has so far counted more than 7,000 dead and believes the death toll is far higher. Iran's government offered its only death toll on January 21, saying 3,117 people were killed. It has depicted many of the protesters as terrorists. Iran's counter comes as Donald Trump hinted limited strikes on Tehran amid military muscle flexing by both the countries.
Mr. President, are you considering limiting military strikes to pressure Iran into Israel?
Yes, I can say I am considering it.
Iran has been carrying out military drills with Russia in the Strait of Hormuz, the waterways said to be crucial international trade routes through which 20% of the world's oil passes. As the tensions between Iran and the United States peak despite 2 rounds of negotiations, Hormuz waterway has emerged as the focal point of the standoff once again. On Tuesday, the Iranian state TV announced the closure of the Strait of Hormuz amid military drills with Russia. The Iranian media claimed that the closure was implemented for a limited number of hours to manage safety concerns during the drills. The Tasnim news agency, said to be closely linked to the Revolutionary Guard, said the missiles launched from within Iranian territory and from coastal positions hit designated targets in the strait as part of the exercise. Iran has been holding military drills with Russia, even as Americans brought its warships closer to the Middle East. Footage released by Iran showed members of the paramilitary Revolutionary Guard's Naval Special Forces board a vessel in the exercise. Those forces are believed to have been used in the past to seize vessels in key international waterways. Lying between Iran to the north and Oman and the United Arab Emirates to the south, the Strait of Hormuz links the Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. On an average, roughly 20 million barrels of crude oil, condensate, and fuels pass through the strait daily. Major producers, including Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, UAE, and Iran, depend on it to export energy. Nearly half of India's crude oil and around 60% of its natural gas imports pass through the strait. China, Japan, and South Korea are also heavily dependent on supplies shipped through these waters. According to reports, any prolonged closure of the strait would likely push up oil prices sharply, raising fuel, manufacturing and transport costs worldwide and fueling inflation. In the past, Iran has harassed shipping through the strait. During the 1980s Iran-Iraq War, both sides attacked tankers and other vessels, using naval mines to completely shut down traffic at points. The Strait of Hormuz's temporary closure follows reports that Iranian gunboats had approached a US-flagged tanker in the area, and that the US shot down an Iranian drone near the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea. Iran's parliament approved a motion backing closure of the strait. Amid naval drills, Iran had also issued notice to airmen, saying it intended to carry out rocket launch tests.
Iran has issued a Notice to Airmen, or NOTAM, saying that it plans rocket launches in areas across its south from Thursday, Reuters reported. The NOTAM notice was issued amid heightened tensions with the United States, which has deployed warships near Iran. Donald Trump has been hinting at military strikes against Iran if the nuclear negotiations fail, adding that the Iranian officials were bad negotiators.
So I'll be involved in those talks indirectly, and they'll be very important. We'll see what can happen. It's been typically Iran's a very tough negotiator. They're good negotiators, or bad negotiators. I would say they're bad negotiators because we could have had a deal instead of sending the B-2s in to knock out their nuclear potential. And we had to send the B-2s. I hope they're going to be more reasonable. They want to make a deal. I've been told that a deal is next to impossible. No, I think they want to make a deal. I don't think they want the consequences of not making a deal. They want to make a deal.
On Tuesday, the Iranian state TV announced that the country fired live missiles toward the Strait of Hormuz. The international commercial route was also shut for several hours. Additionally, the Russian Navy released video footage on Wednesday showing one of its warships docking in an Iranian port ahead of a joint exercise. The Baltic Fleet's corvette Stoichi and the Iranian Navy's frigate Alvend, corvette Shahid Seyed Shirazi, and missile boat Nizeh conducted the PASEX naval exercise in the Gulf of Oman, said the Baltic Fleet's press service. The Strait of Hormuz is an important waterway, being the key route for supertankers carrying oil and gas from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iraq, Qatar, Bahrain, the UAE, and Iran. The vast majority of it goes to markets in Asia, including Iran's only remaining oil customer, China. Iran has insisted that it does not intend to develop nuclear weapons, as both the sides have held 2 rounds of negotiations brokered by Oman.
How else can we say that we are not pursuing nuclear weapons, and we never will? They can verify all they want. If they truly want Iran not to possess nuclear weapons, we are ready for any verification they request.
Tensions between Iran and the United States have escalated after Donald Trump initially threatened to launch a military strike against Tehran after its bloody crackdown on last month's protests.